Where am I? Who am I? Somebody tell me, please. I'm lost. We're doing Paris in 4 days. We've reached the first day, the second half. This is called the Bourbon Palace. Bourbon. From the Esplanade des Invalides, take the Quai d'Orsay along the Seine, past the Foreign Office and the Hotel de Versailles, an 18th century townhouse with a very finely decorated interior, which is now the official residence of the President of the National Assembly. Continuing along the same route, you finally reach the Bourbon Palace, the work of 4 architects, Giraldini, who started the work in 1722 and eventually finished in 1728 by 3 more architects named L'Assurance, Gabriel, and Albert. So started by Giraldini. This is showing it at nighttime with the lights. Excuse me. The French National Assembly meets here. Its classical style frontage was built by Poyet from 1804 to 1807 to be in agreement with the one of the Madeleine Church. The frontage of the courtyard opening on the other side, Rue de l'Université, is typically 18th century with its vast colonnade, framing high windows. Inside the building, the royal drawing room and the library are richly decorated in the Romantic style and hung with paintings by Delacroix. The aristocratic quarter, built at the end of the Ancien Regime, runs into Boulevard Saint-Germain. Take the Rue de Lille and note some of the buildings along this road. Number 78, Hotel de Beauharnais, with its Egyptian-style portico added in 1803, has beautiful Empire-style interior decoration. Number 64, the Hotel des Salles, in 1784 built, is the headquarters of the Légion d'Honneur, showing the return to the classical style. So most of these are from the 18th century, 1700s, etc. The Army Museum is shown here. The Grand Collar of the Order of the Legion of Honor, which belonged to Napoleon I. The sword is that which the Emperor copied at Austerlitz. So it says, show the return to the classical style towards the end of the 18th century in its triumphal archway and Ionic porticos. At the far end of the courtyard is the semicircular pavilion with simple window decorations which make you forget the austerity of the neoclassical frontage. Take the Solferino footbridge, then walk through the Tuileries Gardens to reach the luxury shopping center of Paris. Famous dressmakers, jewelers, etc., who make these streets famous all over the world. Then walk along the Rue de Castillon as far as the Place Vendôme. That's the Palais Bourbon. Bourbon, I guess, like the drink, bourbon. I'm not sure. The Place Vendôme. This square, perhaps the best example in Paris of the architectural harmony, was built under Louis XIV. The Place Vendôme and the Colonne de la Grande Armée, shown here. Jules Hardouin-Mansart designed and built the frontages, which he then sold with the land behind for individual customers to complete their houses as they wished. The architecture is elegant. Arcades are at street level. Corinthian-style pilasters on the upper parts of the frontages. Dormer windows. The square provided a very good setting for a huge statue of Louis XIV, which was pulled down in 1792 and replaced at the time of Napoleon by a 41-meter-high triumphal column, and which is a replica of Trajan's column in Rome. Lead from 1,200 guns captured. 1,200 guns from Austerlitz was used to make the bronze for the plate covering the stone column in a spiral up to the balcony around its dome. The plates represent the 45 major events of the campaign of 1805. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. The Rue de la Paix. Some of the most famous shops in Paris are along this street. Walk to the Place de l'Opéra, the busiest square in Paris. Around it you will find big department stores, restaurants, theaters, music halls, cinemas, showing the latest films, all of which keep this district extremely busy until very late at night. To the place. The Opera House, begun in 1861 by Charles Garnier, who wanted to make Napoleon the equal of the great builder sovereigns. It is the largest opera theater in the world. Its stage is large enough for 450 players. The theater is richly decorated. A grand flight of 10 steps leads up to the entrance hall with 7 vaulted arcades separated by groups of sculpture. At the extreme right, a copy of Dance by Capu, a lovely work of airy grace. The original is in the lure. On the landing, the foyer opens onto a loggia with 16 double columns flanking the French windows topped by busts of composers. Lastly, great carved pediment surmounted by two large bronze groups allows one to see the green roof of the low dome covering the great hall, and the Apollo holding up his lyre above the proscenium arch between the audience and the stage. In the interior, as also outside of the opera house, the play of white stone, marbles of all colors, and gilded bronze heightens the majesty of the proportions. The decide for grandeur is full achieved in the magnificence of the great staircase and in the auditorium now decorated by a ceiling painting by Chagall. So shown here is the opera house and the Place de l'Opera. It's a busy square, right? Shown at night. So the painting by Chagall on the ceiling of the opera house, whose poetic charm without a discordant note, harmonizes with the sumptuousness of the decor. True to its vocation, the Opera House, the Academy of Music and Dance, offers the great classical operas and the traditional choreographic repertoire. At the same time, its role is also that of discovering lost or forgotten works and creating new operas and ballets, writing or providing contemporary art with an imposing stage and the means of expressing itself to the full. This is showing the Opera House and the Avenue de l'Opera. It is quite busy. This is the interior. Quite pretty. So this is when you get, I guess, coming in from outside. There's like chandeliers, very big and fancy, and beautiful paintings on the ceilings. Columns, they look like they're bronze covered or color. Stark but very elaborate and detailed. And that's the ceiling, I guess, of the inside interior. And this is the auditorium. Okay. And the stage. For those who have time and the chance to go. I love those chandeliers, they're really nice. I would just go for the chandeliers. This is huge, look how big it is. Okay then. The Madeleine. The end of the 18th century saw a revival of interest in classical art, and when Napoleon I wanted to erect a temple of glory, he chose the design suggested by Vignon, a copy of a Roman temple adorned with Corinthian columns 20 meters high. The pediment, sculpted by Lamar, represent the Last Judgment. The building, finally finished in 1840, is perhaps too heavily decorated inside. The baptism of Christ by Rude and the marriage of the Holy Virgin by Pradier are worth noting. So this is showing the Madeleine Church. And this is the Madeleine Church illuminated at night. The flower market in the Place de la Madeleine. From the spring, this market may be seen in the Place de la Madeleine by the church. It has its own strange charm and is a pleasant walk. You can see it better at night. There's less glare, I guess. Okay, so that's the flower market, and this is Place de la Concorde. Okay, so this is the end of our second day, so we're gonna pause. So if anyone goes to the flower market, grab me some of those pink ones. Those are cute. You can give it to me as a gift, or take a picture of the flowers and send it to me on my page at facebook.com/Yosallplay, YOSALLPLAY. Thank you guys. I want those ones right there. Can you bring those for me? This one right here.